just like Mir Jafar, just like Jagat Seth and others. And during such conflict and war, East India Company were always helped by few Indians. And company never forget to reward them after their victory. So they were getting loyals after loyals, and one of the reasons why the British won India was that many Indians helped the British till very end. You got this point or not? So you did not have one Mir Jafar. Their names may be different, coming from different community, but that is the unfortunate part, that the country was let down by the countrymen. If I just give you an example, a simple fact that could be surprising, for me it was shocking. In 1941 census, the population of India, it was showing 35 crore plus minus whatever lakhs. At that time, the highest English officer was a governor general. You know this? And the lowest may be a peon. Now, if you look at all the English from governor general to peon, the total number of these people were around 1 lakh. In army, civil service, police, judicial service. 1 lakh people ruling over 35 crore. हैरत आ रही है, ये गुस्सा आ रहा है, अफसोस आ रहा है. You got it or not? Now, this is very unique and ironical. That is why when Gandhi came from South Africa in 1915, one of the earliest things he said, that no one can rule such a large population of India the moment they are awakened. So the problem was, out of these 35 crore, 34 crore 90 lakh were sleeping. You got my point or not? And few were active, but they were killed or they were chased by the British, like 1857 revolt, and a group of them were loyal to British. So to make them awaken was itself was a big task, and even if 10 lakh became active, they would be heavier than 1 lakh. And that exactly would happen with the rise of Indian National Congress and Gandhian movement. That is the point you have to understand, and how 1 lakh people rule over 35 crore. Okay? So I have given you all the important clauses. If I ask among both the treaty and all the clauses, which is the most important? The most important clause. Diwani rights of which area? Bengal, given to East India Company. Can you tell without looking the other clauses with Mughal king? Tell me the other clauses. Out of the collected revenue,
53 lakh per annum has to be given to
Nawab of Awadh. Okay, then?
36 lakh per annum will be granted pension to the Mughal emperor.
Okay, good. No, other one. You please. Any other clauses? Try without looking. That's a real test.
Mughal king was restored by, he was restored by Scindia.
Which two? No, that is not a part of treaty. I'm asking part of treaty. Mughal king had to live at Allahabad. Now tell me, with Nawab of Awadh, what are the clause with Nawab of Awadh? 1 crore Nawab would pay to East India Company. One clause I had forgotten, write it down. Nawab of Awadh. An English resident clear? Had to be kept or appointed at Lucknow. Had to be kept or appointed at Lucknow. You got it? You know, this is the name of post. The officer would be called Resident Bahadur, sort of thing. And who would maintain the cost? The Nawab of Awadh. Do you have any post in India right now, Resident Commissioner? Can you locate it? What is the job of resident commissioner?
But to represent the rights of the state government to the union government, he is sitting in every day.
Good. You have a state house in Delhi, UP Bhavan, Andhra Bhavan, Karnataka Bhavan, mostly at Chanakya Puri. All the state official from governor to IAS, IPS officer, when they come, where they stay? You know, the night on which Modi took oath, where did he stay? Gujarat Bhavan. You remember this or not? Now in that Bhavan, there would be a big building. I have stayed in one of the state house, Kashmir house, and they have very much five-star hotel facility. Because governor would stay, chief minister would stay, all MPLA, MP with their BV Bacha would stay, IS officer, vice chancellor, senior government official would stay there. The man who is managing the entire Bhavan is resident commissioner, a senior level IS officer of that state cadre. So Gujarat Bhavan, Gujarat cadre. In fact, the man who was resident commissioner in Gujarat is right now in PMO office of Modi. You got it or not? And the reason is obvious, because he would be the link between central government and state government. He is like ambassador of that state. And generally, resident commissioner is a senior IS officer of 16 years, 17 years in service. Because he has to deal governor, chief minister, union ministers, etc. And it becomes very high profile post, not because of power, but because of proximity. You got my point or not? If chief minister came here Delhi for 2 days, he would be right from airport till back to airport. In the car, इतना तो काफी होता है अपनी बात मनवाने के लिए इंडिया में कि साहब वो एक पोस्टिंग और करवानी है, अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है, हो गया काम, मेरी यहाँ से वहाँ करवा दो. सो इसलिए इंडिया में जितने भी ब्यूरोक्रेट होते हैं वो कई बार पोस्टिंग ऐसी जगह कराते हैं जहाँ से उनका नजदीकी किसी कैबिनेट मंत्री में, जैसे अभी आजकल चल रहा है पर्सनल सेक्रेटरी ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स पे हंगामा चल रहा है ना, कि मोदी ने एक रूल बनाया है कि जो भी 10 साल तक यूपीए गवर्नमेंट में रहा है वो पर्सनल सेक्रेटरी नहीं बनेगा. वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड इज नाउ ट्राइंग टू बी ए पर्सनल सेक्रेटरी, बॉम्बे से आया हुआ है, एंड ही इज ट्राइंग हिज लेवल बेस्ट टू बी पर्सनल सेक्रेटरी ऑफ अ कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर, क्योंकि उससे फिर जंप उसका कैरियर बड़ी तेजी से होता है. यू गॉट दिस पॉइंट और नॉट? क्योंकि हर चीज इंडिया लीगली होगा, बट ये लीगली ही बहुत पर्सनल तरीके से होगा. You got it or not? So this is how this post resident commissioner still exists. जब भी आप किसी ब्रिटिश पीरियड की कुछ हिस्ट्री पढ़ेंगे आपको करंट की कुछ ना कुछ चीजें समझ आती जाएंगी. Now I am going to discuss a very unique phase in modern history. This is known as dual government in Bengal.
Sir,
Yes.
Shah Alam was the first king to who was arrested and granted 26 lakh per annum as pension. Mughal king.
In 1803 he was first. He was first. Dual government. What is dual government? In Bengal, Nizamat was in the hands of Nawab and Diwani was in the hands of East India Company. Is that clear or not? Now, what exactly the definition of dual government? What were the consequences? Who introduced? Who ended? These are all points you have to remember about dual government, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 1. It was introduced by Robert Clive, the governor of Bengal. Number 2. In this system, two deputy divans, were appointed by Nawab, but they worked for company. But they worked for whom? Company. And बहुत जो जिद्दी टीचर होगा वो दो डिप्टी दीवान का नाम भी पूछ सकता है, तो आप लिख सकते हो रिजा खान एंड शिताब राय, who were these two fellow, two deputy divans. So why we are calling it dual government? In this government, the two deputy divans were appointed by Nawab, but they worked for company. ऐसा होता नहीं है, आप जिस एजेंसी के लिए अपॉइंट होते हो उसी के लिए काम करते हो. You got this point or not? But here it was unique that they were appointed by someone else and worked for someone else. This is the system which is called dual government. Now right, the C point, 3 point, this impacted the local people most. As the company got financial power without responsibility, and Nawab got responsibility of governance without financial power. You got it? Nawab got what? Responsibility of governance, जिसमें पुलिस, आर्मी, जुडिशरी सभी होगा. But it would be like shadowed by the company. Decision making उधर से होगा in the name of Nawab, but होगा company का. But company can take away this responsibility, shed away from this responsibility. You know, power always come with responsibility. A DM is very powerful in a district, but is also the most responsible person. If something wrong happens, सबसे पहले DM और SP की क्लास लगती है और उसी का ट्रांसफर की बात मीडिया, पब्लिक, सरकार, अपोजिशन करती है. देखा होगा आपने, द हायर द पोस्ट लाइक प्राइम मिनिस्टर, द ग्रेटर द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. इंडिया में कुछ लोग हैं आज भी जिनके पास पावर है, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है. इसीलिए सोनिया गांधी और राहुल गांधी का क्रिटिसाइज हुआ, दैट दे वर पावरफुल बट विदाउट responsibility. इसीलिए संजय गांधी is still remembered in history with black pages, that during Indira Gandhi's tenure he became too powerful without accountability. He did not hold any constitutional post, and yet he was all in all. Such person can become very corrupt, and this is right now happening with Indian media. That media has become very powerful, they can influence the government and they have no responsibility and accountability. They can damage the career of an individual by a wrong reporting. You got this point or not? So this is how responsibility must always come with power and vice versa. The company got power without responsibility. This is the period of dual government. Last point. Warren Hastings, you heard his name? Became governor of Bengal in 1772, and he abolished dual government, and direct rule of East India Company was established. Direct rule of East India Company was established. Which year? By which man? What happened to the Nawab post? Write it down. The post of Nawab was abolished. The post of Nawab was abolished, and now he was kept in museum फॉर एवर। आइए नवाब साहब के कपड़े देखिए, इनके जेवर देखिए, इनके बर्तन देखिए, इनके तलवार देखिए। तो देखा होगा आपने बहुत सारे इंडिया में म्यूजियम, और उन सब म्यूजियम में इन राजा महाराजा एंड नवाब का सारा पर्सनल बिलोंगिंग है। दिस इज इन माई व्यू द बेस्ट प्लेस फॉर द राजास एंड नवाब्स इन इंडिया, दैट इज टू kept them in museum.
The post of Nawab was established, abolished in Bengal or in Awadh.
Only in Bengal we are talking. वही मैं अभी क्लैरिफाई करने वाला हूँ. The post of नवाब in Bengal was abolished, और उस वक्त जो नवाब था मीर जाफर का बेटा था नजमुद्दौला, and he was removed. Now he became former नवाब. अब वो चेस वेस खेलेंगे, गोल्फ वोल्फ खेलेंगे, जब तक जिंदा है उनको पेंशन भी मिलता रहेगा. इतना रियायत अंग्रेजों ने किया. Now the point you have to understand, this is India, right? This is Bengal, right? Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, Bangladesh. In 1772 they established direct rule. But in other parts of India you have other rulers. Here you have Delhi ruler, जिसका साया हल्का हल्का इधर उधर था, बट उसको खुद नहीं पता था कि उसकी हुकूमत कितनी है, कहां तक है. मराठास, यू रिमेंबर दिस? मैसूर, यू रिमेंबर दिस? हैदराबाद, यू रिमेंबर दिस? पंजाब, यू रिमेंबर दिस? अवध, यू रिमेंबर दिस? एंड होस्ट ऑफ small kingdoms here and there. They were all ruling in different parts of India. अब जैसे ये वॉर खत्म हुआ और यहां पर कंपनी का डायरेक्ट रूल एस्टेब्लिश हुआ, there was another war started, and this war started between East India Company and English government. You getting my point or not? Because English government in England was surprised कि ये कंपनी ट्रेड करने के लिए गई थी, ये यहाँ क्या कर रही है, और इसकी हुकूमत इतनी बड़ी हो गई कि इंग्लैंड से 4 गुना बड़ा था. तो सोचो इंग्लैंड की क्वीन पे क्या गुजरी होगी. You got this right or not? Because Bihar is, Odisha is bigger than England. And this was Bengal, Bihar, Odisha. कितना बड़ा है? So a private company became master of such vast company. और चूंकि बहुत सारे English citizen company में थे, obviously they all were, even head of the English governor was an English citizen. So all their life, honor, dignity, if in danger, who would be responsible in England? The English government. और उनके यहाँ पार्लियामेंट है, तो ऑपोजिशन हमेशा सवाल उठाती थी कि हमारे इतने आदमी वहां मारे गए, सरकार क्या कर रही है. You got this point or not? So there is a unique clash now. So one clash, East India Company versus Indians, and one between East India Company and English government or English crown. एक ही बात है. So they started tightening the screw over East India Company की बेलगाम हो रही है, इसको थोड़ा लगाम कसते हैं. इसीलिए 1773 में रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट आया. You got it or not? 1773 which act? रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट. अगर आप गौर से देखो तो इस एक्ट के नाम से इसका मकसद क्लियर हो जाएगा. What is the purpose of this act? Who is regulating whom? English government is going to regulate East India Company because now it has become unregulated. Regulator देखते हो ना फैन में होता है, to control it. और इस रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट में दो खास बातें हैं. इसको याद करने में कोई डिप्लोमा करने की जरूरत नहीं है, हिस्ट्री में एकदम आसानी से आप याद रख सकते हो. लेकिन असली चीज है इस पूरे गेम को समझना, कैसे ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी इज नाउ गोइंग टू बी अ रूलर फ्रॉम 1772 onwards. So first you write two clauses of regulating act. Number 1, the governor of Bengal was made governor general in council. with 4 members with 4 members and the decision